Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode 155. As you can see, I'm not recording from my normal location. I am on vacation, and I'm still putting this all in for you. My apologies. There's a golf course right behind me, and they are mowing the greens or blowing the greens. So if there's any extra noise, I do apologize. Hopefully the new mic picks it up and clears it out. So just thank you, everybody. As always, just want to say thank you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the watches, the listens, all that good stuff. As you all know, let's do a little housekeeping. If you could, please rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. That's greatly appreciated. But without any further ado, let's go dive into the show. Week 16 in the NFL. Just quick note, there will be a Monday night addendum for the first time in God knows how long, but the Green Bay Packers are on Monday Night Football, so you will get my Monday Night Football thoughts after that has happened. They'll probably push the pod back a little bit. You guys probably be listening to this a little later than usual, but a week of close games across the NFL. Chargers-Broncos Thursday night was a close game. We had the punt, fair catch, free kick at the end of the half from the Chargers. I was reading a book in bed, just kind of half watching the game, and I look up and see that, and I was like, what in the name of Christ is going on? And it was a punt, fair catch, penalty, free kick with no time left. So they lined up like a kickoff and shot that sumbitch down in there through the field goal post. So that was interesting. Chargers end up winning a tight one there. Score 15 in the fourth quarter. Actually scored 21 points in a row from the end of the third on. So it was a nice comeback win for the Chargers. The Chiefs, they played Saturday. I didn't see that. I was watching college football and driving, so the Chiefs were not in the list of things to watch on Saturday. But they went down. Or they went down to the wire yet again, rather, is what I should say. They didn't go down. They went down to the wire. They ended up scoring a touchdown late in the third to take a touchdown lead, and then get a field goal late to just kind of salt it away. And the Chiefs, 14-1 now, just continuing to find ways to win. It's never pretty, but they find a way to win. Ravens beat up on the Steelers. Then we move into Sunday. A couple of the games that were blowouts, Falcons just take it to the Giants. Michael Penix Jr. in his first game, 202 yards and one interception, so not bad. Bijan Robinson had a nice day. I found a thing about Kirk Cousins. Please tell me I kept it. If I didn't, I'm an idiot. I'm usually an idiot though, so like that's the truth of it. Damn, I didn't. He's made an absurd amount of money, is the basic. Here, I did find it. If the Falcons benching is the end of Kirk Cousins, his career will end with one playoff win in 13 years and earn $321 million. $321 million for one playoff win. And the meme put this man's agent in the Hall of Fame. That's wild. My man maximized his potential for sure. Absolute maximization. Moving on. Panthers. The Panthers finding a little bit of rhythm here late in the year, kind of, maybe, sort of. Like they eliminate the Cardinals from the playoffs in overtime. Chuba Hubbard, nice day, 25 carries, $152, a couple of tutties. The Rams stay alive and take down the Jets. We'll get to the NFL playoff picture here. Couple of big games. The Rams, the Buccaneers lose, but the Jets go down yet again. Let's see what Rodgers did. So Rodgers went 28 of 42 for 256 and one TD. I've been pretty tough on Rodgers this year, but I saw this stat the other day. I've got a lot of pictures in my picks here. Okay. So this was before yesterday's game. Rodgers' last 7 games, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception, 100 passer rating. Jets scoring 22 points a game. Jets had a lead with under a minute to go in 5 of the 7 games, and the Jets had a 2-5 record in that time. Aaron Rodgers in 2024 has thrown for 32-85, 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and can break the Jets' all-time passing record if he throws for an average of 240 across the final 3 games. Well, he's above 240. So I'd been real critical of Rodgers and that like the experiment wasn't working. And hey, there's probably still things to be critical of. You know, he had kind of laid out who he would like to play with when he came over. There's some questions on whether or not the coaches have been fired. But then you look at Woody Johnson, who's nixing trades of Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating. Like, holy shit, man. So maybe it's not Rodgers' fault. Maybe it's not all Rodgers' fault. Just maybe. Not sure, but just maybe. But the Rams get a big win. The Commanders come back, score a game-winning touchdown as time expires, or not expires, but pretty much expires. I think there was like 6 or 7 seconds left. What do we see here? 6 seconds left. They had taken the lead in the middle of the fourth quarter, but the Eagles had tacked on 2 field goals. But the Commanders never say die. Jaden Daniels, what a wild day for my guy. 258 for 5 touchdowns through the air, ran for another 81 yards. Saquon Barkley continuing to play well, but the story is Jalen Hurts goes down, possible concussion. I don't know if I saw or heard what the news on him was. Let's take a quick peek. With concussion. So Kenny Pickett was in the game, and Kenny Pickett was not doing great, would be a way to say it. Knocked out with concussion. Josh Allen lost the feeling in his throwing hand. Does it say anything? He's got a clear 5-step concussion protocol to play in Week 17 against the Cowboys, who just absolutely fucked me tonight. Pickett had x-rays. Pickett did have x-rays after the game. Well, he didn't reveal what they found. He told reporters he thinks he's ready for next week. Okay. I did not know that Josh Allen lost throwing it, feeling his throw. Oh, after a hit from a helmet to the elbow. Got hit on the funny bone. Interesting. Got it. Yeah, I'm on vacation. I was, wasn't totally locked into the games yesterday. But the Bills escaped. They escaped. The Patriots, they came to play. The Bills outscored them in the second half. They score 2 touchdowns and a field goal to just a single touchdown from the Patriots in the second half to, squeak out a win. They continue to play well, but this wasn't their best showing for sure from what I saw. Jags and Raiders was just a slop fest. That was awesome. Dolphins beat the 49ers. I think there's still a slim chance they can make the playoffs. So you never know. Vikings can continue to just find ways to win games themselves. Just in an absolute dogfight with the Seattle Seahawks, and Justin Jefferson is found by Sam Darnold late, and that's a touchdown, and they end up holding on. So the Vikings, just incredible. The Lions beat the shit out of the Bears. I think they had went up 27-0 was it? Yeah, nope, 27-7 was the worst it got. And almost nothing out of the Bears in the second half either. Bears made it 27-14 before half and could only muster a field goal in the second half. Ay caramba. Not a bad day from Caleb Williams, though. 334 and 2 tutties. That's not the worst, man. It's not the worst. Am I missing anything? The Cowboys just take it from the Bucs. I mean, Baker Mayfield makes the greatest escape ever to get it out to, was it Rashawn Johnson, who fumbles it, and then the Cowboys seal the victory. So, Saints Packers tonight, Monday Night Football up in Green Bay. The Saints 5-9, nothing really to play for. Spencer Rattler coming to town. I think last time I saw the line was 14. This and the Packers go to Minnesota next week. This feels like a trap. And we can't let it be. We gotta stay. We gotta stay in the moment. Stay focused. Can't lose our composure out there. But yeah, hopefully they just get out to a lead and just go. And Eastern time zone is bullshit. I have to stay. This game doesn't start till 8:15 here in the Eastern time zone where I am. And bullshit. Just absolute bullshit. Quick look at next week before we do the playoff picture. Actually, let's do the playoff picture first. Playoff picture webpage is not happy with me. Not happy with me at all. This isn't good. Let me try again. Hold. Technical difficulties we're dealing with here. Wow, it does. It just, okay. It doesn't want to go into the half screen. So, okay, we'll figure this out. We'll come back here. We will share the screen, the NFL playoff picture. We'll share it, and I'll be over here. Vikings in the playoffs. Now I see. Interesting. Chargers, Broncos, the only two teams. The Colts stay with a win, or an overtime win, stay on the bubble. I wonder what their path looks like. Colts playoff scenarios. How the Colts can make the playoffs. That was 22 hours ago. If the Colts lose the most games, they can win the season is 8. So thanks, Chief. Colts can make the playoffs if they win out. Chargers lose out. Okay. So that's what it boils down to. I'm guessing the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins is something similar to that. They required something else to happen. Let me double check. Dolphins playoff scenarios after week 16 win. Dolphins have to win out. At least two of the following three need to happen. Chargers lose out. Broncos lose out. Colts lose out. Okay, so Dolphins not as easy of a playoff picture as the other guys. So yeah, that's that. The Bucs fall out with that loss to the Cowboys. Caramba. The Seahawks, that loss yesterday, back-to-back losses for them now, I think. So the Rams move up. So Rams, 86% to make the playoffs. Now the Falcons are back in the playoff picture. That'd be Packers-Rams at the moment. Are the Vikings locked to the 5 seed? No, I mean, we can get past them. A couple wins, beat them. Nice. Packers are winning in tonight. That will confirm them. I think that all but locks in. That win all but locked the Commanders, and 95% here. So, yeah, let's go back. We can stop sharing this. I'll go back to looking at what we got next week. See what if anything is. Oh boy, something happened. Something bad happened. Chiefs. Christmas Day games. So the 4 teams that played Saturday flip flop and played Christmas Day on Netflix. So Chiefs Steelers at 1, Ravens Texans later at 4:30. Then we got a Thursday game, Seahawks Bears. So a lot of football. Chargers Patriots. Chargers need a win to get in. Bengals Browns. Joe Burrow just still slinging. I didn't even talk about the Bengals and the Browns because it wasn't really much of a game. But I mean, Joe Burrow, another 252 for 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 6 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Like, it's just clockwork, and they stink. Where we got Rams, Cardinals. So Cardinals out. They can play spoiler to the Rams Saturday night. We got all day Saturday football too. Oh, mama. What a weekend. What a week. We had college football Saturday. We had NFL, just Sunday football, Monday night, Wednesday. Oh, it's all over the place. Bucks, Panthers. Bucks need one. Who do the Falcons play? The Falcons play Sunday night football at the Commanders. That game all of a sudden matters. A couple weeks ago, you would have said Falcons Commanders. I mean, the Falcons are going to Michael Penix while the playoff push is on. Absolutely incredible. Monday night, 49ers, Lions, nothing there. Eagles, Cowboys, who cares? Colts need to beat the Giants, keep winning. Packers, Vikings, actually one of the better, probably the best matchup of the weekend. Ravens, Texans, not bad on Christmas Day. But yeah, Packers, Vikings, and then Commanders, Falcons on Sunday too. So yeah. All right. Let's go probably be the Packers Monday night recap now. Monday night addendum. The Green Bay Packers took care of business Monday night. It was a shutout. I believe it was the first shutout of the year too. 34-0 victory over the New Orleans Saints. It was a lot of Josh Jacobs early. He did leave the game and not come back. I don't know that any injury was ever announced, but he left the game kind of with his arm dangling. And let me see if anything came out here this morning. The news was good on Jacobs, but concerning for Watson and Williams. Yeah, Christian Watson hurt again with a knee injury. Just, dude, is always hurt. Always hurt. Jacobs, who barely played second. He wanted to go back in, but there was no need for it. I actually told him at halftime, we'll give you another series in the second half, but I want to get you out. Just being a short week, I want to get him ready for Minnesota. Yeah, okay, we're good there. Just domination. Josh Jacobs, the guy, the running game for the Packers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys recorded a run, including Malik Willis. Jacobs led the way with 13 carries, 69 yards, just being an absolute bell cow. He also had some receiving yards, too. 4 catches for 38 yards. Just Josh Jacobs is an absolute animal. Emmanuel Wilson came in, and Chris Brooks got 11 and 6 carries. The rest were wide receivers getting kind of one-offs. Team stats, I mean, this is, again, just domination of a bad Saints team. 404 total yards to 196. Doubled them up. 24 first downs, 3 of 3 on fourth down. 37 minutes to 22 minutes time of possession. This was a beatdown. The second drive, the second touchdown of the game was a 94-yard, 9-minute drive. Picked up 2 fourth downs and ended up getting that touchdown. This was a bad team that the Packers were playing, and they took care of business, which is what you're supposed to do. So good. Jordan Love looked a little funky out there, especially in the second half. He missed a wide-open Christian Watson. And they ended up scoring on that drive, but missed a wide-open Christian Watson on fourth down. So just weird stuff. And he didn't look sharp. He was 16 of 28 for 182 yards, 1 touchdown. Didn't throw an interception. Tried pretty hard on a couple of occasions, but didn't do it. So, yeah, I don't really have much beyond that. Packers got the Vikings next week. That game got flexed into the 3:30 window. So we'll be a little more not totally standalone, but a little more standalone. They wanted to get a little bit more of that game going. So, all right, that's all I got. Let's go wrap this thing up. College football playoff, round 1 in the books. A real playoff, not just a little 4-teamer. We had 12 of them. We had 12 of those guys. Let's just recap the games real quick. Notre Dame put it on Indiana. And I think the biggest moment of this game to kind of talk about is down 17 in the fourth quarter. It was like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 11. Indiana punted from midfield. And that just felt like a bad decision. I have been not as into Curt Cignetti as a lot of people. I thought it was odd, to say the least, that he was on game day like 2 hours before the game. Like, does it matter? Probably not. Like, they've game planned, they've prepped for the whole week. But, like, I don't know. It was a weird choice that, like, he's going to go out there and we don't just beat top 25 teams. We beat the shit out of them. Like, you beat one team that was ranked in the top 25 at the time. And the other team you played was Ohio State, and they wiped the floor with you. Like, I don't know, man. And I'm not trying to knock Indiana here, because Indiana they got beat up pretty good on the football field. They scored for like 14 points late. That game was 27-3 or 27-7, whatever it was. They made that 27-17. That game was way wider margin than that score indicates. They were getting beat up. They had a chance in the first quarter to score and take the lead, and then they threw the interception. And then there was the 99-yard touchdown back the other way, and it felt all of a sudden like it didn't. I don't want to say over just yet, but it felt like the momentum shifted huge. And I forgot where I was going with this, but like, oh yeah, the kid just kind of the punt felt like a waving of the white flag at the time. And again, I don't think him being on game day was it was so detrimental to the team that like, oh, he didn't prepare. They prepared for multiple weeks for this. I'm not here to say like, oh, if he would have just been in the locker room, they would have played better. But to go out there and then do that and then get your ass kicked, so it's a tough look. Penn State rolls through SMU. SMU just could not hang with Penn State, as many of us thought. Texas handled business against Clemson. I think that game was closer at one point in the first half, and kind of got away. Again, I was driving at this point still, so I'm not positive what was going on. Let me swing over here. I don't care. They got to set this up better so that we can see the college football playoff and just that. Texas Clemson. Clemson got in as an auto bid, so let's remember that in our next set of conversations. Oh, no, it was way worse. It was Texas. I mean, Clemson scored first, and it was 7-7, and then Texas scored a bunch more. And then it was not 7-7. Texas scored 21 in the second quarter and blew it open. So it was close at one point. Just forgot how fleeting that was. And then Ohio State just boat raced Tennessee. That was all tough. So let's talk a little more about the process of how these teams got picked and things like that. So selection and performance are things that people like to link together, like the performance of a team in a game, in a playoff scenario, a bracket that they were chosen for is going to either validate the reason they're there or not validate the reason they're there. We see this a lot in college basketball as well. When we're talking about like a bubble team who then goes on to win, 4 or 5 games, four or 5 games gets them to the Final Four. 2 or 3 games makes it the Sweet 16, Elite 8, something like that. And we're like, see, they should have been in. And that's not necessarily true. In college basketball, you're talking what resume earns you the option to get there. And same thing kind of happened here in college football. We heard a lot throughout the day, from Friday night into Saturday at about 8:00. We heard a lot about how the SEC teams, even Lane Kiffin was one of the people saying things. Ole Miss, South Carolina, Alabama, particularly, are the 3. All should have been in based on the performances from SMU and Indiana. And okay, I get that. They would have probably performed better. It's hard to perform worse, but at the same time, if it's just who's going to perform better and the merits of your year don't mean anything, and that you can lose to a Vanderbilt, you can lose to a 6-6 Oklahoma and only score 6 points, Alabama. What we're just supposed to, then why play the season? We'll just pick the teams at the start of the year that we think are the most deserving at that time without any games. We can play them. Like SMU and Indiana both played bad schedules in their conference, and that's going to be a thing with the way these conferences are set up. When we have 18, 16, 18, 20 team conferences, the balance isn't going to be a thing in those conference schedules. And it wasn't a thing when you had 12 team conferences and, you had them in divisions and, like the Big Ten, the East had Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. And it's like, well, Wisconsin and Iowa are out there just beating up on bullshit teams, Northwestern and Nebraska, and Iowa even kind of stinks most years, things like that. So like, you can only beat who's in front of you, and to not reward teams for going 11-1 in the season is tough. I don't know. It's weird, but I just, and it's funny. A lot of the SEC, like, all the SEC teams should have been in. They're so much better. Our teams are so much better. They shut the fuck up real quick when Tennessee got the doors blown off them by Ohio State that night. So I don't know. It was an interesting discussion. I mean, I think both things can be true at once. And there were a couple of things to point out. Like, we've had blowouts because people are like, oh, this was a first round sucks. College playoffs, a bomb. And I was the guy who was like 8 teams is the number. I don't think most years you can say 9, 10, 11, 12 really deserve or have a chance. Now, Ohio State was 8 this year, so they were on the edge. And I said, probably 7 and 8 most years. But Ohio State was 8 this year, and they have a legit chance. But let's remember some of these semifinal games. Oregon beat Florida State 59-20. Alabama beat Michigan State 38-0. Clemson beat Ohio State 31-0. Clemson beat Notre Dame 30-3, and LSU beat Oklahoma 63-28. So games with big spreads in the final score are not uncommon, and you are going to get that. I saw another one. The first round of the college football playoff, the average margin of victory was 19.2 points. The wild card margin of victory in the 2023 NFL playoffs was 17.3. So I have no problem with 12 teams now that we're at 12 teams. I thought 8 was the number. I thought getting them to 8 would have been a huge ask. And they just went right to 12. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. It doesn't need to get bigger. 12 is probably a smidge too many. But hey, look what we got coming. We got Penn State, Boise State on New Year's Eve. That's going to be the least interesting matchup. We got Texas and Arizona State New Year's Day, kick us off. Then we have Ohio State, Oregon, rematch we all want, Notre Dame, Georgia. Those are good games, man. I'm not out on the college football playoff just because we had some bigger margins of victory in week 1. So I'm still in. Penn State still got a great road. Get past Boise State. Then they're going to get the winner of Notre Dame and Georgia. It's looking like Carson Beck isn't going to play at all in the playoffs. Seems like pretty sure on in the Sugar Bowl on whatever that night is, Wednesday night, the night of the New Year's Day. So yeah, so I'm ready for the games. Penn State, get by Boise State, do your job. Let's ring in the new year on a victory. Time for some passing thoughts. Okie dokie. A couple of things. Bookie, the TV show on HBO Max, is back. I don't even have a Max subscription right now, but for some reason my phone was like sending me updates, and I just tried it, and it was like working. And then I tried to watch more of other things that stopped working. So I watched the first episode of Bookie. I'll have to circle back around to do that. Did anybody see this thing about the Scrabble goat? The guy from like Australia or New Zealand who just like starts learning languages to play Scrabble and winning. And he's like, oh, I don't even like learn how to speak it. The guy barely speaks. In Australia or New Zealand, maybe he rode his bike like 250 miles to go to the first one. And he just like has basically turned it into like a number equation. It's just absolutely absurd. I wrote down Boomer licking himself as a wake-up call. If anyone else has a dog, you know the sounds that you hear that just wake you up immediately. A sound of a dog about to puke. There's nothing that wakes you up quicker. And then the sound of your dog just going to town, licking. And it's like 5 a.m. You're like, okay, can we stop? Can we stop? Or nope, that's my alarm clock today. Just a 5 a.m. Boomer licking the shit out of himself. Oh my God. There was I don't know if I talked about this last week. I think that came out this week. There was a senator, I think a Republican senator from Texas. Maybe she was Congress. She'd been like missing for 6 months and was found in a healthcare facility for those with dementia, 81 years old. And no one was told. Just they shoved her in there and the staff just kept going as possible. Just kept going. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? What in the name of Christ? Good Lord. Good Lord. A couple of sports things here. First, College Game Day. Shane Gillis was absolutely working Nick Saban. I mean, he starts off like, hey, Notre Dame never paid our players like those guys down in the SEC, like Coach Saban. And then McAfee stirred it up and was like, you're a bad guy. You said he cheated. And he's like trying to like be like, dude, it was a joke. I don't think it was that much of a joke. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that the SEC had been playing players as of many college football programs over the years. And then he called him Alabama Jones, which was absolutely incredible based on the hat Nick Saban was wearing. And then Saban goes into like this diatribe about how they tried to run a clean program. It's like, dude, just shut up. Like, you were making it obvious that you guys paid players. Like, of course you did. Everybody did. But yeah, Shane Gillis, star of College Game Day, Alabama Jones, and just absolutely working Nick Saban. This was a funny thing from College Basketball Content. If there was a graphic to describe the new era of college sports, I'll just kind of show it to you here. That's Jason Tatum on one side and DeJuan Clayton on the other. You can see DeJuan Clayton, both came into college in 2016. DeJuan Clayton's still there. Jason Tatum has been with the Boston Celtics for 7 years or whatever it's been now. DeJuan Clayton put in 5 years. Is that 5 years? 5 years at Coppin State, a year at University of Hartford, a year at Cal, a year at Manhattan University, and apparently he's a free agent this year. Don't know how we're getting to 9 years. Probably some injuries in there, a redshirt year, a COVID year, a lot of different stuff going on, but just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I love it. Just go to college for 9 years. 2016. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, would be his 9th year. Do it. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. They're called doctors, but you can do it too. Did I have another sports thing? Oh yeah. The Cleveland Guardians have traded Josh Naylor. There were thoughts that he was going to be on the trading block. Those thoughts have come true. It was for a pitcher who had not performed well last year, but had been a very high prospect. So maybe the idea is kind of revive his career. Hopefully they can do that. But yeah, trading away 2 key pieces of a team that made it to the ALCS for projects back. Both pitchers, which is what they needed, starting pitching. I guess they're addressing the flaw, but I mean, the flaw just the year before was that they couldn't score runs, and Josh Naylor was producing some runs, over 100 RBIs, 31 home runs. That was a tough one. They did sign Carlos Santana Los. I believe it's his 3rd stint in Cleveland. 1 year, $12 million deal. And I did see his WAR for last year was better than Naylor's by like two points maybe. So, hey, maybe as a stopgap, I know Manzardo's on the roster, so Manzardo's probably the first baseman going forward. Manzardo probably played some DH this year. Travis Bazzana is coming up to second base. Many think by middle of this year, probably by June. So we'll see. Hopefully there's a plan. Unfortunately, I think the plan is that Paul Dolan and the Dolan family are cheap fuckers. And as friend of the program, Ethan Sexton says they're a poverty franchise and they act like it. So, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. It was disheartening to kind of see how this offseason has gone after the great start with signing Shane Bieber to another year. It felt like something might be different. But guess not so different in Cleveland just yet. Alexander Usyk beat Tyson Fury again in their rematch on Saturday. I did not watch, but most accounts I followed on Twitter said it seemed to be a pretty good performance by Tyson Fury, but it was just a better one by Usyk. He won 116, 112 on all 3 scorecards, and most everybody I saw tweeting and reacting about it said that seemed about right, and that was the right split. So Usyk takes down Fury again, defends the undisputed title. There's guys just cleaning shit left and right around here. There's a deck right here, and there was a guy with a leaf blower just going to town just a second ago. Usyk defends undisputed title again. Just a couple things here. It's apparently the news is reporting that everybody knew that Biden was compromised right from the start, and that they had to make workarounds and do certain things to accommodate the fact that he was old, going through some sort of mental decline, just couldn't hang. It was obvious to everybody with a mind that if it took you this long to realize and you're one of the people who are like, oh, they fooled me, I had it, you're a fucking idiot. It was clear as day from day one that guy could not and was not the same person. The decline that guy showed from 2016 to 2020 was unreal. And if you didn't notice that, you were blind. And then the decline he showed in office was holy hell. And the people pretending like they didn't notice they're saying they didn't notice now and they were fooled and now they're mad at the Democratic establishment. Like, shut up. You guys are idiots. Last one I'm going to end on. Driving down here to South Carolina, drove through eastern Tennessee and some of western New York. Part of the route down here, the interstate is closed because of the devastation from those hurricanes. And driving through and getting detoured onto some of these back roads, you see some towns that just got annihilated. Some towns that didn't have a whole lot to begin with. These are low income, poverty line towns, if not, poverty stricken towns, and they got decimated. And it made me so angry driving through there, knowing what our government has spent money on and continues to spend money on. I thought I saw something about sending money to an Amazon rainforest fund, billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel, money everywhere, but to the people of the country. And it's like you drive through these towns and see the riverbanks just destroyed and the trees down, and the remnants of where water had run through the main street on the town. I mean, these are little towns that if you're from the Northeast and the East Coast, you'll understand towns get built on rivers. Like that's how old towns got built, was right along the river. And they were just absolutely decimated. And it made me so angry to know the priorities of our country. So, do I have anything better to end on than that? I don't think I do. So, Packers, go Packers. Hopefully, as you get to this point, I've been celebrating a Packers win. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. I just want to thank you guys. As always, thank you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the watches. Appreciate the listens. Do your best to subscribe, share, comment, rate, review. Do all that good stuff. Don't forget about MJ, the Full Range podcast. You can get that on our YouTube channel, and he has his own Spotify channel for that. So don't forget to do all the good stuff for that. Rate, review, comment, subscribe, share, and do all that fun stuff. Back next week. It will actually be right before all the college football playoff stuff. So maybe I'll have a little segment where we'll pick all the games going into that. And then we'll have all sorts of NFL and everything else going on in the world. So until then, peace.